Ever since the hurricane, we've been having some connection problems, already.
It's
you had a hurricane too.
It's a good reason.
Yeah. Let's see if we're on. I'll just do a little intro in Spanish for the people watching. Okay. The guys watching. So, son las 8:36 de la noche en la nación puertorriqueña, martes de la noche. La sección del podcast, interview, conversation de Probando Fuerza. We have a special guest this evening. We got Mr. Artem Taranenko, the top rope king.
Yeah.
The top influencer, I think, in arm wrestling in Florida, right?
Yes, sir. It's fair to say that. Yes.
Well, I'm happy to have you here tonight, so we can have a conversation about everything, because I think that we have kind of known each other's careers, or at least I follow you because of Noel Nunez,
Okay.
So Noel is from Puerto Rico. He's a friend of mine. He started arm wrestling in Puerto Rico, and that's how the Puerto Rican arm wrestling community got to know you.
Okay, I got you.
So we've been always following you, and you've been always on, like, in the same level with Noel, right? But at some point you took off because of Noel had some has to work and all that.
Well, yeah. Fortunately for me, Noel got too busy, so I got some time to train. So thank you, Noel, for taking care of your family so I can train.
Yeah. But I always, when I have people on, I always want to know their story,
Okay.
So fans can get to know you personally as an athlete and as a human being, And,
okay.
The first thing I would like to ask you, if you would share with us, is how did you got to the United States, and how did you got into arm wrestling?
Okay, so I was fortunate enough to not to do really much to get to United States, because I was still young enough for me to where my mom did the whole thing, because our grandparents lived here and they did like the whole long family reunion type program. Took them forever, but I gladly had, I didn't have to do anything, right? So I guess I was fortunate enough to just kind of come, right? Didn't really have a choice, but I'm not too sad about it, right? It was a great decision by my mom. So because especially right nowadays, clearly being in Russia, it's a little rough. So, but I started arm wrestling. I started training arm wrestling in Russia, right? Like I kind of liked it long time ago, right? Like even before I even dabbled in first practices, but you'll watch it on YouTube or whatever, like you'll see some Zlati tour videos and stuff. But never really had a bug to compete or anything. But eventually start to work out, start to we had the arm wrestling table at our gym, right? So, and I've watched your interview with this Vasily guy from Dubai. He was explaining to you how, in Russia stuff is like, it's like classes, like it's certain time, right? So, and I started go to the gym basically a certain time. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're allowed to go to the gym, as a student type thing, right? But I kind of, want to do arm wrestling because I knew, like, I was super skinny, right? I was like 130, 140 pounds. I didn't want to do arm wrestling because I already knew that arm wrestling, requires you to weight cut and all that, stay in category if you want to be kind of successful in a weight class, right? I didn't want to do none of that. I was like, no, I want to be, I want to be big. Like, I don't want to do this like 140-pound stuff. And so I waited like another year working out, like got a little heavier thing. And then I hit up one guy, and then then after that we start training, and I was basically Monday, Wednesday, whatever, Friday will be our gym sessions at night, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday we will have an arm wrestling class, at the same night time. So that's how we will work out. And but I was excited to go to my first tournament in Russia. It was like a big regional tournament, and in Russia it's very official. Like if you want to go to nationals, you have to go in this regional thing. Then you go to nationals, you get the spot, then you go to worlds. So I'm training for my first tournament, and I'm asking my coach, like, "Hey, so who's gonna be my weight class? Like, is there like thing for like the first timers? What can I do?" Like no, there's not a thing for the first timers. So I'm like, oh, okay. And he's telling me some names like so and so, like he's a world champion, so he's like a national champion. I'm like, oh man, that's rough. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, well, if you're not ready, you just keep training for the next one. I'm like, oh no, that's not fun. Like, I think arm wrestling, it's all about like competing, right? I don't get people that just train. Like, I want to
test yourself. You got to test yourself.
Yeah, competing and practicing. You don't even know. If you never have done that, you don't know what the power difference you have, right? Because you have the adrenaline. It's fun, right? Some people lose their shit, So I was excited to go there, but my mom was like, I told my mom about that. My mom was like, "Nah, we just got our like visas to go to America." And she's like, "No, what if you break your arm? Like, who's gonna carry all this luggage?" And like, I mean, she had a point, right? Like, we have a dog, we have like all this stuff, we're selling our apartment, we're moving out. So, yeah. So my mom didn't let me to go to the first tournament in Russia, and I was so upset. I stopped training there for a couple of days because I'm like, well, because I wanted to compete, and I'm like, well, fuck that. I'm just gonna go to the gym. Like, I'm not doing this. And my body said to like, no, like, you have to keep training, whatever. You're gonna move for, you're gonna find arm wrestling in America. I'm like, okay, whatever. And my first tournament
that's
was
how
already
you got into arm wrestling.
right. So my first tournament was actually here in America after I like found some local stuff.
There's this I just noticed this. I got to know this like the other day. There's this viral video of this skinny guy, arm wrestling, jacked up guy with a red shirt, and he's like taking his pictures while he's holding the guy. That was you, right?
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not that many people know that, but it's like a funny angle. And like, I have that selfie saved somewhere, and like, it's, you can only see half of the body or whatever, but it just, we never, it was like one of our friends filming that video, and we never intended for it to be like viral or anything. Like, I we didn't even know it was getting filmed, right? Matter of fact, it just kind of like whatever. But somehow one another, well, actually, so I'm getting like tons of friend requests. I'm getting like maybe 100 friend requests a day, right? Like, or something crazy like that. And my buddy from that video messaged me the same thing. Hey, all this like people from all over the place, they be like 50, 100. I'm like, dude, me too. And then I looked up. I never look. I guess I never looked, which is like kind of odd. But next thing you know, that video been shared like hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And then, if you go back to the original post that we made, it's like it's ungodly amount of shares. So it's kind of like, I had to clean up some friends because I immediately like busted to like a couple thousand people that I don't even know. So I had to like slow down follow. It became so crazy that at some point I was at some local restaurant with like my mom and my wife, and some random dude like, hey, are you guy from this arm wrestling video? And I'm like, no, like that's like the only moment of fame that I got, because like super odd. We like took a picture and everything.
So you got into arm wrestling right on Russia, and you got to the States, and you picked up right where you left off in Russia, right?
Yeah, kind of. So, there was obviously a period of like, the whole periodization to America. It's whole new country, whole new lifestyle, right? Because I was technically just a student and stuff. And That's it. Like I will work sometime like in summer, like that's it. I never planned of like having a car, like I had to like learn a whole new language and stuff like that. Like it's so like bizarre, right? So there was a
Yeah.
big period of just changing to that before I will be like, okay, like let's do something that, let's find some arm wrestling. I mean, back in those days, like it's kind of gonna sound funny now, but not that long ago, but like 2013, 2014, there was not much information like on the internet as far as arm wrestling goes. There was not that many groups on Facebook. Like they still had forums to stuff. So information was like not that easy to come by. As of right now, it's almost like right now it's almost too easy, right? To find like, an arm wrestling practice near you. Like we have apps for that nowadays, right? Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
nowadays it's super cool. Back in 2013, I had to email some people and back not knowing English through like a Google Translate, right? Hoping somebody replied. And that's exactly how I found my first practice. And that was like maybe September. I moved to America in May, and like I got to my first practice in September. So like a whole summer, I guess it was just adapting and like trying to find somebody.
Okay, so you started your arm wrestling career, and the way that Puerto Rican arm wrestling community got to know you was watching you pull Noel, right?
Right.
And Noel is one of the strongest guys, of the strongest Puerto Ricans that have ever pulled in the States. Actually, we have Noel down in Florida. We have Richard Calero in Ohio, and he's really strong. We got Daniel Schwartz, the Nightmare, the guy from New York, from the 98% family. And he's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
And we got he's Puerto Rican. And we got Arturo Pizarro in Las Vegas with Jason Latona and Brandon Allen. He practices and trains with them. And I've tried to connect with every Puerto Rican that is in the United States that arm wrestles. We got Pedro in New York, and we got a lot of more guys. But the way the Puerto Rican fans got to know the TOPROLLKING was with your matches with Noel, and the time that you guys went like back and forward, and you were like in a really close level. That's how we got to know you. And then Noel, well, he has a job, and he got really busy. He's still he's a really strong guy, and I
because
believe
we still have not arm wrestled, right? The last time we arm wrestled, he beat me, right? As far as the tournament goes, like I pulled him on an after pull once to where like I destroyed him, but that was after him pulling and me watching. So, but we like as of last time we competed, like he beat me. So like we still yet to kind of see who's actually stronger, because he, I will always beat him like first time at practices and stuff, but like tournaments are hard. Like it gets closer and closer, but he has that like actual nice endurance to where like he gets stronger as the match goes. And if you cannot match it, like you all of a sudden get sucked in or something like that. So it's, you have to be ready.
Yeah. And I believe that if Puerto Rico is gonna get someone in the big stage, like say East versus West or whatever, he's Noel. He's the guy, he's the guy to reach that level. And I think it's really close. If he can find a way to get back to it and go 100% into arm wrestling, I believe that he will get there. Because like I know we can exchange DMs and stuff. And when you defeated Paul Talbot, I wrote to Engin Terzi about you replacing him in East versus West because he got injured, right? But I thought that the match that Paul was gonna have was left-handed, and no, it was right-handed, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's why Engin contacted you about Adam, because I Adam is a friend of mine, and I've been like always like trying to get Engin to pay attention to the young guys in the States, you know, like you, Noel, Adam, all these guys that are young, to give them opportunity, because all the guys we're bringing from America to those tournaments are like above 40 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we got to give the chance to you guys, because like you have your whole career, we got to know you by pulling Noel Nunez, but then we get to the Todd Hutchings visit.
Right.
And everything changed after that. I mean, that's what I think. You know, you after that time you spend with Todd, you reach a whole new level. And you kept your style of arm wrestling, but you added more tools. And you were dominating people that, for say, in the Kentucky Muscle tournament, Noel couldn't do anything with Robbie Russell. And you just went through, you know, right. And that's like a big leap in level, like you went like 10 levels above, you know what I'm saying? What happened, you know? Am I right that those did that visit with Todd Hutchings, and maybe you got something you learned about training or preparation? What happened? What changed, if anything?
Well, you know what? In all honesty, so probably, well, I don't know if one of them will be really correct. Like, I don't know if I didn't really know if getting beat by Todd gave me like this crazy motivation. Maybe not. However, being more, well, here's the thing. So me and Robbie is a good example, but in the same time, every time me and Robbie pulled, it's never been a clean sweep, right? Me and him pulled in March, like, so 3 months, 5 months before that, he already laid down to me. And I was thinking, honestly, if I will let it go, like, he will say, well, he'll beat me, but I'll say I already will beat him back in March, right? We're not even talking what happened in August. So, and every time me and him pulled before, it's always been a little bit of a war, right? It's never been like a clean sweep, but Robbie was dominant all the time, right? Like, I've had like a read on him after he was like tired and shit. So, but you know, me and him pulled a lot, and he will be the winner out of most of them. So yes, this beating him pretty good was it was a big step for sure in that regard. However, I would say like my power was kind of already there. Like, I think training with Todd and being consistent on his program did help me, and it taught me new things, right? Because I was always big. So I realized after arm wrestling for like, let's say 2020. So realizing for like 7 years, 6.5 years, that my biggest issue is my power, right? I'm fairly technical, but I'm weak as a motherfucker. Especially my problem is I am 154, 165 guy that really tries to arm wrestle with this 200-pound dudes, right? Like, I'm like Noel at the same time. Noel is also fairly lightweight, and he's just kind of trying to beat up on bigger dudes, right? So it's all, you know, it's kind of it's a little harder already. So if your power is not there, it can be problematic, right? So you kind of get stuck with like average or lower tier dudes. So after realizing that, I focused on my power rather than technical stuff. So I stopped doing anything specialty, not doing anything in the cable. Like, we're not doing pronation. It's biceps, wrist, you know, maybe wrist curl, right? But back, chest, whatever, everything. So, and that's worked. That got me, like, you know, if you watch like all the biggest, whatever, that 2020, 21, like, I'm doing a lot better, right? I'm competing better, that 200 class.
Dude,
like,
that's a big difference. Like, I've been following you for years. We've been following you for years. And dude, if you're like, you went from like, let's say 5 or 4 to a 12 or 15, you know. Right. So you got fast, you got strong, and you got like even your attitude changed, you know. You went all in, like, no worries.
Right. So then coming kind of 2 years later, getting a program from Todd Hutchings, and trying that, and seeing how well it works, I've realized that I do get benefits from specific work, because Todd kind of will program for Todd. Well, it was, Todd explained it very well the way I will explain it. That's what I kind of like about our training talk with him. Um, he did say that what we're doing is fairly advanced, right? It's not gonna fit a brand new guy. We're doing a lot of specific stuff because you have a specific super match for the specific guy, right? So it's very like, made for specific stuff, so it's not very suitable. However, so with that being said, it was a lot of specifics. And I've realized that I was neglecting that purposely, trying to get stronger. But getting stronger in those spots did help me, I think. I'm a lot more, as you said, I mean, the attitude, even like, I mean, just kind of being on the table, a lot more confident. It fixed a lot of my holes that I had on the table, perhaps, right? Like I always have, my holes are the same, right? I don't have any hand on my left hand, and my right biceps is not as great, like going for the top. But my left is my overall weaker hand, right? If you watch your thing in my videos, my left is always behind, right? The only one left-handed exercise I'm better at is pronation of the floor. For some reason, the right hand doesn't want to do that. So that's fixed a lot. But it's still a problem. As I was saying, I'm trying to jump a class. I'm trying to pull with 220 guys, 242 guys. So it's a challenge, but it's just kind of my choice. So it's like, whatever. I'm taking a beating.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't arm wrestle competitively anymore. For years, it's been years as I haven't arm wrestled competitive. But I practice and I train, and when I started mimicking or trying to copy what Todd does, like I'm a side pressure guy, always been like hook inside, kind of thing. But when I started applying Todd techniques in training and combined with my lifting, because I'm a power lifter and I'm hard headed. It's hard for me to stop lifting like a power lifter. And my elbows and my shoulders hurt a lot because combining powerlifting and like benching a lot and squatting a lot with arm wrestling, that's a bad formula. But I worked through the pain. But when I started following or trying to mimic what Todd does with the things that I have in my house or in the gym, it changed. Like I found that it really gave me power. Like it's weird because people might say like that doesn't work. I got people that I'm wrestling here in Puerto Rico that tell me, oh, I can't do what Todd does, what Hutchins does, because it don't work. But in my experience, it works. Like I've never in my life I had pulled Noel Nunez since I know him. Like I know Noel like when he was a little kid, like a little kid, But I've never arm wrestled him because when I was ending my run arm wrestling competitively, he was beginning. But then he came when he came to Puerto Rico, a couple of this past summer, we had a practice on the beach, and I pulled him a little. He was tired because he was pulling everybody, and I pulled him a little, and Noel complimented my power doing that I got doing the Todd Hutchings stuff,
Okay.
And I know I'm old. I'm 41 years old. I don't.
You're not that old.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm 41. What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm 41. I don't do this competitive anymore. I feel like I'm too big for the table because of my powerlifting thing. But it helps. Like that's why I came up with the West Side Hutchins is a real thing.
Right. I always see your comments. Yes.
Yeah. And
Right.
you can like corroborate that West High Hutchins is the real thing, because I'm hitting you right now talking about the lifting you're doing and the way you're applying the Hutchins program to your training, and you have found the same benefits that I found, you know?
Right, for sure. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's, you have to be very careful though. Like, I don't think it's a formula for everybody. I think it can be if you make it for yourself correctly, right? You have to adjust it to your levels where you are. Like, are you stronger than your technical? Are you preparing for something specific? Are you just getting stronger? Because the quicker you realize your weaker spots, or maybe what West Side Barbell, I guess, or East Side Barbell in our case, really allows you. Well, I guess the conjugate method, basically, it allows you to combine. Yeah, it allows you to combine all of that stuff, so you technically don't have to miss out on anything, right? Your percentages may be off eventually, but the faster that you find that what you need for your level and where you're at, the more beneficial it will be for you. So it can be for everybody, but you have to know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's
And
very easy
not
for those
everything
who
is going
always
to work.
wonder. They can watch Todd's videos.
Yeah, and like not everything is going to work like for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've tried the way that he goes from one side to the from peg to peg. That doesn't work for me. I end up getting hurt on my elbow, right? But I accommodate those type of movements and just the philosophy of training,
right?
Looking for variations and all that, and I mean, I don't have the kind of equipment that Todd has, because he has that pulley thing on his house that he can go just straight to the side. But I'm trying to build something like it in my training thing at home. But I know that what he does works, because what I've tried, what little I could mimic from him, it has helped me a lot, like a lot. And I wanted to mention to you that Noel Nunez, when he started arm wrestling here in Puerto Rico, we in Puerto Rico, like, I'm from the old side. I'm old school arm wrestling in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, like, pulseo is the way we call arm wrestling in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Like in Latin America, we call it different ways. We call it pulso, we call it vencida, we call it lucha de brazo, and we call it pulseo.
Yeah, lucha de brazo is what I used to. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm from the older history of arm wrestling in Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico always had arm wrestling since the 80s, late 70s,
Okay.
And we had like a big tournament in Puerto Rico that was called the Pulso Medalla. It was like a Yukon Jack or the Golden Bear. It was a big tournament here in Puerto Rico. And when that tournament died out, like, the sport, like, it went like silent for years, until Richard Calero met with Mr. Joe Cortez. He's my friend. He's from the municipality of Florida, Puerto Rico. We have a town in Puerto Rico. It's called Florida.
I know about it.
Yeah. So that's where Noel started arm wrestling. With those two, with Richard, with Joe, with Alex Cruz, and like, he has like a combination of the three, and that's why he's so good. Because I'm telling you, Artem, like, if you pull Richard from Ohio, you're gonna say like, "Fuck, Manolo's right." If you come down and pull Joe, like, Joe is called Mr. Back Pressure. Okay. And Joe is like 200 pounds. He doesn't lift weights, but he's a welder. He builds houses.
Oh yeah, I don't like those. They're always strong and weird. Yeah.
He's no guy is strong as fuck. Like, I mean, fuck. Like, I remember Todd saying that when you go to a tournament, you know who the rookie is, because the rookie is always gonna like squeeze on your hand really hard and grab you really hard, right?
Okay.
That's not true. That's not true, because Joe will squeeze your thumb until your nail comes off. Like he has, dude, it's scary fucking grip. He has, I've practiced with him back in the day, and he has like taking my nail out, my skin. Like he squeezes hard, like really, like hard. And you know, we got strong Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. Yeah. And Joe is older than me. Joe is older than me. Joe is like 44, I think. So maybe we gotta plan something. We gotta go over there. We gotta do something. We gotta meet up somewhere.
Well, you know, y'all just have to have a little bit less storms, and you know, it'll be a lot more welcoming, right?
Yeah. Like this last storm, Fiona. The weather ladies here in the island said, "Oh, you're nothing to worry about. It's not coming." Then, bam! On top of us is a freaking hurricane, dude. My house got flooded, and I lost everything.
Oh man, that's not bad.
So you know, that's why a lot of things have been going on in arm wrestling in Puerto Rico and in the States and in the world, and I haven't been able to cover any of it because I've been like trying, you know, pick myself back up. You know, like this is like the second life
out there.
Yeah. And I know you had Ian, right? Did Ian hit where you live?
No. I moved way too far in like up north of Florida, so we don't really get anything. I'm practically in Georgia, so it's kind of like, you know.
Oh, okay.
I've been lucky enough because like I used to live in Orlando, which usually never gets anything. Then I moved to St. Augustine, which is like sometimes get stuff, but never in the time where I lived there. Now that I moved further up north, like it's really we've been lucky so far.
Cool. Happy for you, because Ian, like, I mean, hurricanes are a nightmare, and you know, it fucks us up. Now, Dubai.
Okay.
You're training. What are your expectations of your performance in Dubai?
Oh man, so I have like, well, my expectations are fairly high, right? I wanna do good, and now you know it's funny. So essentially, I was like kind of considering like my competition to be what I know, and I know that like Sam Barnett is coming. I know that Oleg coming from California. So like I know my people who are coming, right? So like, all right, well, I have to like, you know, that's what I have to worry about, blah blah blah. And then, but you know, you never know, right? And then there's more name drop, right? Like now Adam has confirmed that like Bojidar is coming, and there's more rumors, right? I'm not quite sure. That's the only name I can confirm that been confirmed, I guess. So but more random name drops made me like do some research, you know, like I know I understand. Well, I kind of understand. Like I know where I kind of stand out here in America. I don't know where I stand like in that weird 187 pounds class, like out there, right? Who knows? You never know. But I understand where I should be staying against like a true world champion. So I understand my chances. However, I still did my research because I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to lose the only opportunity I want to get. And I realized today, doing all this research on all those like crazy world champions that are coming, I'm like, oh, I forgot that like the two other guys are coming that I was worrying about the other day. Like I don't like, and that's great because when it comes to the tournament, you kind of have that same attitude because you know, like you know who you have to worry about. So you know, like I've had it in me, like to where I know I have to be a lot more aggressive. I need to do a lot more stuff, and if it's, you know, if I have a problem, I know to lay down quick too or do something because I don't want to give up the power because potentially, you know, I know I have to worry about somebody else. So that's why the attitude changes. I love it. I feel like whenever that's why people are missing out when they pull amateurs. They don't know like you know the fear you have when you have to worry about somebody that's a lot stronger than you. Man, you're gonna beat a lot of people you should not beat, because I don't even want to know about you. I'm scared of this other guy. So next thing you
Yeah,
know, you
but
can beat the other
I
guy.
believe you're gonna do good. I believe you're gonna do good.
So
I
oh
have
yeah,
like really good
I
expectations.
forgot. I forgot we were talking about it.
I mean,
I want to talk about
I've
amateurs.
seen you grow. You know, I've seen you grow, and the you have like the momentum right now. You know, you're on
Yeah,
fire.
yeah. Well, we will see. I mean, I'm I can consider I'm in a great shape. Like you give me like a little bit, couple more pounds for a weight class and give me a tournament this Saturday in America. I bet you I will do really, really well. Like I will pretty much do probably my peak performance, probably type thing, right? However, yeah, I'm in a good shape. However, I do have to consider like shit like jet lag and slight weight cut and stuff, because I'm I mean the perfect thing and a bad thing. I'm getting there as same hour as early weigh-in starts. So as soon as I'm getting out of the airport, I'm getting to early weigh-ins and I'm out of there, right? I'm going back. But in the same time, that's going to be like 7, 8 o'clock daytime at night. So I'll have to go to bed. But at the same time, I will be leaving Florida at also like 9 o'clock at night, because the time difference. So I'm hoping I'm able to, like, I don't know, stay half awake on that flight or whatever to pretend it's a day or whatever, because I have to make sure I'm tired, because
So
taking
why
taking
don't
that
you
weird taking a weird jet lag is like the scariest thing for me right now.
yeah, why don't you get a couple of days earlier to Dubai?
I can't, because it's I'm already leaving tomorrow.
Okay. Because when I spoke, I had a little conversation with Dave Chafee. That's on the channel.
I was not that rich as Dave Chafee. Dave Chafee gets his trip paid for. I had to pay out of my own
No,
pocket.
I know, but we were talking about that sort of thing that you were just mentioning, the jet lag, and he specifically, like he said, he doesn't, he's not making any excuses, but he says that when he got to East versus West, like he got like the day before, and the next day he had to pull, where he got to King of the Table, he got there on Monday and got to pull on Saturday. So that it made a lot of difference in his endurance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially it depends. It depends how people react, and depends on your age. Like I was totally fine when I was younger, moving to America, but now that I'm like 10 years older, I don't know. And I'm prepared. I bought a bunch of like whatever, like sleeping medicine, whatever it's called. Like I'm getting ready in case something doesn't work out, but I want to make sure I'm sleeping. But it can happen. I'm kind of worried. I don't want it to happen, because I know myself. Like the worst days that I had were definitely due to like not sleeping all night or something keeping me awake. That's like the only thing I don't want to happen. I cannot eat. I can do whatever, but if I don't get that sleep, it's a rough day.
Yeah, you gotta have your rest. In arm wrestling, you gotta have your rest. But
Right.
Now, do you have any plans after the Dubai tournament?
Oh yeah, I'm super busy. Like as soon as I'm coming back, following Saturday, so like 5 days after that, I'm flying to Houston, Texas. I have a super match versus Dalton Slipswagger, both hands, left and right. Uh, as soon as after that, following Saturday, we have a King of the Battle of the Beach. We have here in Florida, which is just a big practice, nothing too crazy, but just an attempt. I guess that really can count as like a day off, really. But it's a good practice. It's a big practice. Then following, so 3 days after that, I will go to Turkey for East versus West for like a week, right? I'm going to be there from like Tuesday to Monday or something. So, and right after, there's something after that I'm missing out, but that's kind of it. So the 4 following weeks, I'm never going to be home.
But you're busy. That's good because
for sure,
and your brand is
So
growing.
yeah, especially considering, like, if you think about like a month ago, or yeah, about a month ago, you will say. I mean, the only thing that was planned was that November trip to Houston, Texas, and that's it. Other than that, everything about that, it was very free time, and all of a sudden, like boom, like every time, and people fighting for like certain dates. And like, whoever gives me the money, I'm going.
Yeah, the guys over here are commenting on the comments here on the live chat. They asking me to ask you that when you get a chance, you get on vacation or something, that visit us here in Puerto Rico, because like everybody knows you and everybody wants to pull with the Top Roll King. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's the travel arrangements? Is there a flight from Orlando? Is there a flight from Miami?
Like you can fly from Orlando or Miami, but if like from Orlando to Puerto Rico, it's like an hour.
Oh wow,
like an hour flight.
Oh,
like
you
you
know
can
what?
get here in the morning and leave in the evening.
I think I discussed it with Noel and Dan one time. Like, why don't we just go for a day? Like, they'll just be back. I remember that now that you're saying that.
Yeah, you can. Like, I mean, I don't know right now, but JetBlue had a flight that left Orlando like at 6 and got here like at 7 a.m. and then another flight going like at 11 p.m. So you could like get here on the morning and leaving in the evening on the night. Like spend the day or whatever.
Right, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, not right now since you guys got a hurricane.
No, I mean, you're busy and all that,
right.
and
Plus,
and although we had a lot of plans, we had a lot of events.
Hey, when does the hurricane season stop out there?
The hurricane in November.
November. Okay, so
yeah,
we can plan something because we have an idea for instead of Christmas gifts, we want to go somewhere for like a good vacation, and maybe we can go down there for like because you don't. It's America, right? So she doesn't have to have a passport. Yeah, right. So we can just go.
No, we Puerto Rico. It's a territory of the United States.
Right. So because I don't worry about anything, but she
no,
can.
But if you're coming down, you call me, you text me, whatever. I'll hook you up because I live on the west side of the island, and there's more about Puerto Rico than just the San Juan, the capital,
Right.
And we have great beaches, and we could like have practices and whatever you want,
Right.
So it will make worth your while,
Yeah, we can see because the end, maybe beginning of December, we can like plan like a week out or something. Yeah.
And we had a lot of events that we were planning, and because of the hurricane, everything went to shit, and we're like trying to pick up the pieces. I had a tournament, like an invitational tournament that was going to be like the absolute champion of arm wrestling in Puerto Rico, because in Puerto Rico, every guy talks shit about being the strongest and the best, but no one ever, shows up and competes. So we got this belt.
Okay.
And we put up $1,000.
Okay.
For that event, for the winner. And we were going to do that in October, but we learned out the hard way. We are never going to plan events from September to October. We're never going to do that again because of the hurricane thing,
Right.
So we're trying to reorganize and do some things. We got something I think on Sunday, we got an event in San Juan, and I'm willing to go. Hopefully I can go because my car broke down. So I'm hoping I can go. So, but anytime, if you're planning or you want to plan something for December, whatever, you're more than welcome, And we got guys all over. We got guys in El Área Metro, in San Juan, Naranjito, on the north side of the island. We got on the southeast side of the island, and the guys here at the west, like me and other guys from Cabo Rojo. So, you get good content, you get good practices, and you get to know us,
Okay, nice. I love it.
Now, let's talk about things that have been happening last couple of, let's say, hours.
Okay.
there's some matches that maybe they're controversial or they're just interesting. It's the Dave Chafee versus Hermes Gasparini match and the Devon versus Prudnik match if it happens. Okay. Now, I believe Dave is gonna beat Hermes. Like, I think he will beat Hermes. Like, Dave is my friend, and I support my friends to the end, no matter what the fuck happens. But I do believe that Dave is gonna beat Hermes. And the Devon versus Prudnik match, you know, I'm betting on Devon, but I want to know, how do you see things?
So I agree with you on Dave and Hermes, right? I can see. I was listening to what Hermes was saying today, and I like his logic, right? I think he said like side pressure no, hook no, but like if you get his hand, there's a chance, and you know, he's correct. I don't know if he has height to do that, perhaps. But if his power is there, then it's whatever. But it's a lot easier when you have that height. But you know, Vitalik could not do that. But if Hermes has the pronation, yes. But I'm pretty sure they've got it. So at least that's what I'm rooting for, right? That's what I will bet my money on. But if Hermes wins it, I'm not that surprised because, you know, like he's on that, you know, he wants that, right? He wants really to be Dave, I believe. So I will not be super surprised, but I am betting on Dave. And Devon and Prudnik. That practice video, I believe, showed that Devon is like there and he's like stronger. So I don't know if Prudnik has the speed, right? Because like I think Devon can definitely lose to conventional style arm wrestler, but you have to flash him. I don't know if you want to get cocky too early and get sucked in there, right? And people saying that Devon is strong. So unless it's a PR campaign, I'm betting on Yevgeny, but I do believe, like, after seeing the footage, like, that Devon got it, right? I will bet on Devon.
Now, I get what you're saying about that Devon Prudnik match. I agree with you, but you know that John Brzenk has a Monday Night Live thing.
All right.
Did you see the one he was with Devon at the end of the documentary that Devon was filming?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I always like watch bits and parts. I never watched the full thing.
Devon said on that live that he does not believe anything that happened on that practice pool with Prudnik. That he believed that Prudnik was holding back. You know, maybe. But there's not a lot of guys that could stop Levan Saginachvili's hit, you know. I mean, the only guy I've seen stop Levan like in the middle of the table for a little while was Vitali. And Devon, I don't know what happened, but Devon, like, he stopped Levan, even if it was like open, he stopped him for a little bit, which means Devon has his shit, you know. Devon's strong, you know, his punking arm is strong.
All right.
I don't think Prudnik has the kind of power to open Devon like that. But again, Devon has lost a lot of weight, you know. Right. And you know, that's what I'm betting on Devon. I'm rooting for Devon all the way. But I'm like, you know, if
that Devon is always sketchy. You don't know the true shape, the true size, where he's at. You know, he playing the mind game, so he may be 300 pounds of being strong. You know what I mean? So, and who knows? Maybe Prudnik was holding back. So I don't know. That can go. It can go either way with the style. But if for some reason they're about the same power and Prudnik not as fast, I think he's in trouble.
Like Devon has been concentrating like a lot on his holding power. I've not seen any instance where I've seen Devon like hitting or dragging.
He doesn't have to.
Like Devon hasn't for like 10 years.
Yeah, he never done that. Yeah, he doesn't have to. because that's what I'm saying. You have to flash him. You know what I mean? He doesn't. He just have to hold you.
Yeah.
And he has that. He's the, you know, one of the things that makes Devin that great is like, I mean, that build and his hand is ginormous, right? He has the ability to go and come around you. So if you don't have that height, perhaps, and you don't have the speed, which Yevgeny is a good size. You know, Prudnik is a big dude. He perhaps have the height, but I don't know if he has the speed and if he can remain on the outside and not get sucked in
But
that
then again, we can compare the Todd Hutchins match with Devin and Todd Hutchins match with Prudnik. And Todd beat Devin's head, and I believe he pinned him.
Right. So see the problem there. Let's say Todd won that match, right? Let's say Todd won that. What happens next? Like, does Devin drops us hard? He doesn't. You know, I mean, he's still like Todd's. Todd's power is there for him, for Devin, but only in 1 to 2 rounds. You know what I mean? After that, it's over. Like, because it's hard to. Every time I pull Noel, me and Noel first round is the best round out there, right? I might beat him. I might do something. You know, it's crazy. But after that, I can't match him, right? It's like night and day. I cannot do anything, right? So I believe the same thing there. So I believe there is still a power difference. That's all I'm really saying, right? Like technically, like in some 2 out of 3 scenario with the same format, you know, maybe Todd wins the whole thing. But if Devin gets that first loss, he may be more aggressive in that second round, right? He may be a lot more standing, right? Whatever. So with that being said, as I'm saying, I'm just saying that there's a power difference. That's why I'm not really comparing the two, but I see your point. Yeah, Devin could be in deep water.
Yeah, because Evgeny like managed Todd like really well. Todd couldn't do anything with Prudnik, you know. And he had a match with
another
Devin.
thing that's fair to say about that. Todd is not a good arm wrestler when it comes to arm wrestling ability, and Devin is, right? Todd is not that great at readjusting and doing stuff like that. Devin can hide, Devin can run. Devin is not about like whole fucking excellent thing, right? He will run away and he'll try stuff. So there's another difference.
He has a lot of tools and abilities, and as good as Prudnik can be, I don't think he's above Devin just for that thing that you just mentioned. Like Devin has a lot of tricks in his bag, and I don't know, like that thing he created that I don't call it a king's move. I don't know that's like a crab arm. Like he created that, and that lock. It looks solid, you know. It looks solid.
Right. I like practicing with him because sometimes I remember he'll put the strap on so sketchy to where his elbow on the pad, and then he did it to Pushkar too. Like actually here in the picture, he will strap around, put in the middle, and then he rotates before his elbows on the pad, and it's like locks the pronator in there pretty nice.
Yeah. And that armband strap. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Right.
It's a thing. You know. So, but anyway, I think we agree practically in everything about these 2 matches.
Yeah. They kind of, one of them is kind of more obvious. The second one hard to predict. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And about Adam Warsinski, Warzone. What do you think he's going to perform in East versus West?
You know what? I'm not going to say anything because I'm going to pull Bozhidar Friday. So I'll tell you after that personally, because I had, I'll tell you my accurate opinion if Adam is fact, or if, you know what, actually, now that I did my personal research, now that I have to pull possibly if I'll make it to Bozhidar, I'll have to pull him, right? So I did my research. Adam has the style. So technically, for sure, but the power, I don't know. Like Bozhidar is a fucking, he's a machine. So I don't know. It's all about the power, but
Yeah.
technically style to style. Ooh, Adam has that style. Not if he hits for sure, he has that okay style like to perform against Bojidar pretty well. But if he has the power,
I'm rooting for Adam anyway. Adam is a good kid. He's a
right?
strong kid. And like I say, you guys are the future of arm wrestling in America, and you have to be giving your fair share.
Right.
You have to be on those shows. Noel has to be on those shows. Adam and all the other young guys, because we see guys like the other guy. The other day I was talking to, I don't remember to who. I remember the guy said like Brett Rackers, like he was a young kid and he had to. Rackers is like been pulling forever. And people like
Right.
they don't know because the guy looks young and everything, but Rackers been pulling, I don't know, 30 years.
Yeah, I don't want to disrespect Rocker's age, but he's at least in his 40s.
Yeah, at least though he's older than me.
Right.
Rockers is older than me, and I'm 41. He must be older than me because he was pulling before me, And I've been in arm wrestling like 22, 23 years, and he was.
Right.
I've been in arm wrestling 26 years, in and around, competing, training, whatever. 26 years, and Rockers was before me, so at least 30 years, 28.
Right. I don't want to disrespect Rockers at he's 50, but I think
No,
I know
he's
he's in his
strong.
40s.
I mean, no disrespect, he's strong, he looks good, but when people refer to the young guns from the United States, I mean, those are you guys, Adam, yourself, Noel, and this whole bunch of new guys that are strong and haven't been, like in Latin America, we got guys that are strong that can compete in the world level. Like we got one guy, I think he's from Honduras. His last name is Castillo. And that guy can give Levon a run for his money.
Okay.
He's like 6'7", 400 pounds. His hands like Cliff Dean's. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
But he's from Honduras, doesn't get that much exposure. He went to the Pan American WAF Championships and he won his class, their overalls, and it was like a joke. Nobody had anything for him. He's like, damn, he's big. But it's like a Sasquatch we got hiding in Latin America and nobody has discovered it.
Right.
So like in Puerto Rico,
somebody gets to find that guy.
Yeah. There's guys here in Latin America that can be as good as anybody else in the world, but they haven't been discovered or given a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Right, for sure.
So in the 29th of October, like this Sunday, we're gonna have an event. I don't think I'll go live from that event, but if I do, I hope you'll be watching so you can see some of the new generation of arm wrestling in Puerto Rico. It's gonna be the most of the matches are gonna be for the rookies, the amateurs. So because they are the ones that are really motivated, and we're like giving them their space to manifest, to arm wrestle, to pull, so the sport can keep growing and to attract other sectors of people that want to invest and help us grow in Puerto Rico. I like to thank you for reaching out and being with me here today, and I hope we can like do it again, and maybe I could be on your channel or whatever, and we can do it. I don't know how as many times as you wanted to do it, we can do it like each month or whatever, or whenever, anytime you feel like it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that sounds good.
So I will hope that you do consider coming out in December, and if you do, let me know what time so we can.
I love the invite. I'll look into that for sure. I love the invite.
So Artem, thank you. It's raining here in Puerto Rico. We got a storm. I don't know if we're going to lose power. So
everybody be safe.
Thank you for being with us tonight, and a big hug from Puerto Rico. And if you got a message to the guys in Puerto Rico, to those amateurs that are looking at this live, if you got anything to say to them.
Well, most important thing, stay safe. Don't break your shit this Sunday, and be strong, right? And if you lose, you just lost. You go home and you train. You don't argue with the referee. You don't say, I pinch you. None of that. We're not casting on Sunday. Sundays is for the church. We don't do that, none of that. We go home.
Dude, we last week a guy broke his arm on Thursday.
Oh,
and a girl broke his arm on Saturday.
I don't want to hear that. I'm going to the tournament Friday. I don't
It's
know.
been bad. Dude, actually, it was Carly's wife. He has commented on your posts and stuff.
Okay.
And he followed you, and it was his wife. And she's a woman. She was like, she is the first female arm wrestler from Puerto Rico. She motivated all the girls to come into the sport. But shit happens.
Well, hopefully she's not the last at this point.
I hope so.
Anyway,
thank you. Yeah, thank you for being with us. Have a good night, and we're gonna try to survive this storm that we're gonna have tonight. Okay.
Well, thank you, sir. You stay safe. Thank you for having me. I'll be back next time. Hopefully, we'll see you in December, or worst case scenario, January. But I'll work it out.
Yeah. Thank you,
sir.
See you. Take care.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
good luck
Stay
on
safe.
Dubai.
Thank you.